folks, welcome to Myers Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
It was sunny here today. How about for you?
We had a little bit of sun peeking through, but it's starting to get a little cool now. But thank God the shop was still a little warm because Jocelyn's comfortable over there.
It's about 85 then, right?
No, it's not 85, but it's probably around 76, I think, in here. So she's got her sweater on.
Well,
it's a little cool outside. You see, I have my flannel shirt. I wore that into the shop, but it's warm enough to be just in my t-shirt in here. So I'm comfy for sure.
Well, Jocelyn gets cold, you know.
Yes, she does. She surely does over there. And I think she's typing away over there. I see some comments.
Yeah, she's out there. She's hitting on all the guys.
No, she wouldn't do that. You're from Chicago? No, you're from Key West.
That's right.
She said she's mad at us because when we moved to Tampa, we should have moved to Key West, where it's
it's probably a good thing you didn't.
Yes, I wouldn't have the business I have today here.
No, you'd have to drink rum if you were down there.
Yeah, I'd have to work with the fishers looking for the Atocha.
That's right. That's right. And you don't like getting in the water that much, then?
Yeah, I'm not a big diver, so I mean, I still got my Nemo, so I'll figure that out this summer, maybe.
We'll see.
All righty. So I guess we better get started because we have an excellent guest tonight. So let me get rolling on here. Of course, today's show is brought to you by your friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure. And of course, the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed here by the Treasure Talk member and guest belong solely to the member and guest and not necessarily to Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, Myers Metal Detectors, or Jeff Monin. And of course, the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of metal detecting and treasure hunting and to educate our members in a fun, informative manner. And Jeff, it looks like we got a bunch of people in the chat already.
Yeah, we do. They're always there, thank the Lord.
Yes. So I wanted to show everybody while they're here. I normally don't stock this detector behind me, but it is a MineLab GPX 6000. Now that's a gold prospecting unit, if you can see that. That's an awesome detector. We don't get to use those here in Florida. We're mostly beach and relic hunting here. But if you're a gold prospector, yes, we sell prospecting equipment. So we can surely fix you up. That one's going to end up going to Peru.
Well, that's a good deal. That's a good deal. That just goes to show you we're worldwide.
Yes, we are.
Customers from all over the world.
Yeah, last week I had people in here from Uruguay. And then the week before from Argentina. So I think people are traveling again, getting out and doing stuff. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a real good thing. You know, let them get going. And, it's springtime's coming. So, and like you said, you are probably, January, February, and March are three of your busiest months of the year.
Oh, yeah, until April. Yes, January to April. Because we get a lot of seasonal tourists, a lot of snowbirds that come down. They decide, I want to try a hobby of metal detecting, treasure hunting, and they fall in love with it and they love it. You can see it in their eye when they'll buy an inexpensive detector, like a Vanquish or one of the Garrett's, and then they come back and says, we want to get in the water too. So,
and the thing of it is, we've been doing this 3 years, which is hard to believe.
That is hard to believe, Jeff.
I think that you found that you now have customers from all over the world.
Yes.
Not only just local to Tampa, but I mean, out west, up north, northeast. I mean, loyal customers that they won't buy anything if they don't buy it from Myers Metal Detectors.
Yes. Yes.
Which I think is a smart thing.
Absolutely. and it's been a fun thing doing this Treasure Talk show. So it's really cool. And for those, especially those people who are in areas that can't go to a metal detecting club meeting, this is like their local metal detecting club where they can ask people questions. They can ask you and I questions, our guests. And we've got an excellent guest for tonight. So if they ever had a relic hunting question, boy, this is the guy to ask.
Oh yeah, any type of detecting, we could ask him.
Absolutely, for sure.
Well, I think we could. I think we lost him.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's the Gremlins. Hopefully tonight I won't get kicked off 3 times like last week.
He likes to push buttons and stuff.
Well, I think I moved my computer back away from me, so I'm not tempted to push the button. So I am tempted to look at my monitor to see if I can see any of the comments, but I can't see them. I'll have to be like this to see it. So
well, he's back. He's back now.
Okay.
So it's probably a good thing to keep the keyboard away.
Yes. Yes. I lost my pen that quick.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Well, we best get after it, don't you think?
Yes, for sure.
Okay, so everybody, you have seen this young man many times before, and you never get tired of him, as we never get tired of talking with him. He is a fount of knowledge. If you got any questions at all, pop them in the chat. And Jocelyn is monitoring between shivers. And I am monitoring, and we'll make sure that we get your question asked and answered if possible. And we should have a real good time tonight. We got a great giveaway from this guy. And so let's bring him on, everybody. From American Digger Magazine, the premier diggers magazine in all the world. It's the encyclopedia of digging, if you will. Let's bring on Butch Holcomb.
Hey, folks, I appreciate those kind words. Thank you. And by the way, when I went off the air, I settled this question of what does this button do? Because, yes, I pushed a button and I don't know where I went.
I know. That's why I keep Phil, hands in your lap, son.
That's it. Don't play with the controls.
Don't touch the keyboard. Don't touch anything there. Because last week I had the same problem, but I don't think I touched the keyboard, but 3 times I lost my internet. And
it was Gremlin City.
Yeah, so it happens from time to time, but we like that you're on here with us, Butch. And
I'm very honored. Thank you, guys.
Yes. And your magazine, I've said this before, is the best if you're new to metal detecting, or even if you've been doing it a long time, you want a good reference guide. Yours is that, because you can learn a lot of stuff for it. And you just keep that on your shelf, and it's a library fixture is what it is.
It is. One of the reasons, if you'll notice, American Digger is a little higher quality than some of the magazines you see. That's because we want people to be able to keep these, and look back at them. Oh, that was one of our best issues ever. Oh, all that gold. Jimmy Crossbones, I believe it was, but all that gold.
Was.
Yes.
And everybody wants to buy it from me, and I won't part with it.
It's and that's the thing, we print a limited amount, so a lot of these are collector's items.
Well, that one I could see would be.
Yeah.
And if I get over to the other club, Jimmy is the president over there on the over in DeBerry, or I guess that's it is DeBerry, Florida.
DeBerry or Orlando, one of the two. He's the president of the big club over there.
Yeah, the Central Florida Metal Detecting
Club. Meeting and woke up and he was president.
Yes, that's what he said.
That's why you shouldn't sleep at meetings, because you may be an elected officer before it's over.
On the board and the president. So if I ever make it back over to their meetings, which is awesome because they have a large club, I'm going to take my copy over there, get them to sign it. I got a couple other ones here, and we'll probably put an auction at a club event or something.
That would be a great thing. I actually saw him at our South Carolina show. American Digger puts on a show in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, in January, and he and Mark Hoover were both there, so I got to talk to him. Yeah, great people.
Yeah, Mark's a good guy too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, Jimmy's coming up on the show too before long.
Awesome.
And those are funny guys too.
Yeah, Well, the only bad thing is when he gets on the show, he won't reveal his secret spots.
No.
Well, yeah. Have you tried rum?
Yeah, we should try
Yeah,
that.
try
That's
rum.
that's funny.
He's
But
coming up next month, so I got a bottle of Malibu to kind of spike him up a little bit.
there you go. For sure.
Oh,
I know he posts all those pirate ships on his Facebook page.
yeah.
That's kind of cool. I guess we should get started on the magazine. Now
Sure.
tell our people, Butch, how long you've been doing it, American Digger.
We're going into our 19th year. We're actually the next issue coming out is March or April, and that will be 19 years and 4 months, I believe, that we've done it. And we've never missed an issue. I've been there since day one. I was the co-founder of it along with my wife. And it has grown so amazingly. And you were talking about, Jeff, about us being worldwide, because of podcasts and all. We do a podcast sponsored by American Digger right after this one, which is American Digger's Relic Roundup. And through that podcast and through Facebook, the magazine it goes all over the world now. It's not just the U.S. and it's not just Civil War. It's all kinds of cool stuff.
Oh, and your magazines, absolutely. There's bottles,
Mhm.
there's Indian artifacts,
Yeah.
diving. There's all kinds of stuff in there.
It's all the stuff. I've been in this hobby in one way or another for over 50 years. And it's all the stuff that I used to like to find or wanted to find. That's what you see in the magazine because, I never was much of a diver or I never got the chance to really dig the kind of bottles I wanted to and all. I was mainly a metal detectorist, but all this stuff held my interest. And it's what most people want to see, it seems like.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think it gets you excited about hunting
Oh yeah.
and about getting out there and doing it.
I
Well,
tell you,
cool.
I'll tell you what torture is sitting in my office on a pretty cool, perfect day for metal detecting, having to edit and look at all the stuff everybody else found.
Yep.
That's the
I
worst
hear
part
you.
of my job. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is, the thing with American Digger magazine is the quality is
Yeah.
just, I mean, there's none better. When you look at the pictures in American Digger magazine, whether it be digital or print,
Mhm.
I mean, it just blows you away. It's almost like you're holding it in your hand. It's unbelievable. The quality of your publication
Well, thank you.
is there's none that can compare to it at all.
That's intentional because we want people to be able to collect these issues and go back to them and use them like a reference book, basically.
That's what it is. That's what I
Yeah.
tell people. I say, we sell them here in the shop, but
Hmm.
if you're into this, you should get your own subscription for sure. Because to me, you want to have each copy.
Yeah. There's a wealth of information in them.
But,
Yeah, we got people in here saying, well, one, for instance, in the chat, JBP Hobbyist says, I find so many things in the magazine that I add to my bucket list.
That's
yeah,
right. That's right. And speaking of bucket list, also you might find something in the magazine that if you aren't careful, you might have thrown in your junk bucket.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I've had people contact me and say, "Hey, I found so and so that's on page 12 and I almost threw that away until I saw the magazine." So it's really important to read it, I think. And you mentioned, Jeff, something about digital. That's right. We're not only print, we're also digital. So we've got all the bases covered.
Yep. I tell you what, you just can't beat it. And people wait. They wait.
Mhm.
Just if they are subscribed for the print, they're at the door ready to tackle the postman when they think
That's
it's about
right.
time.
That's right. That's the only, if there's any bad thing about the print, it's that digital generally gets there before the print because in print you have to depend on the post office and some people get theirs right on time, other people get them 2 weeks later. But
Yeah, you just never can tell.
you can't.
Never can tell. Well, we had another comment from Rick Tumbleston. He said
Hey,
other
Rick.
mags were printed on newspaper. American Digger is printed on high quality cardstock with high gloss detailed pictures. And he's exactly right.
I really appreciate that. It's not an accident. We want our issues to last. And I've seen some magazines in the past that back when magazines were in their heyday, there were some of them that were great for the first 4 or 5 times you tried to read them, and after that they fell apart. And
Hmm.
I learned something from that. I'm decided early on when we do American Digger, it's not going to be something that falls apart.
And it certainly doesn't. We got a question. You see that, Phil?
I,
Yeah,
I see
dude.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're asking is it a PDF version?
It is a PDF on the digital, and it comes to a person's email. Sometimes you have to watch your junk folder, but at the first of every other month, that's when it'll be coming to the email as a PDF.
Hmm.
Okay, Butch, we were talking about bucket list finds.
Mhm.
What's your white whale?
A gold coin, of any kind. It's somebody showed me a ring they found with a gold coin in it. They're like, well, it's not like finding a real gold coin. I said, oh yeah, it is.
Oh, yes, it is.
I
It
don't
is.
care what form it comes. My bucket list is to find a gold coin.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm
Yeah,
sure Jeff is too. We found hundreds of silver coins,
yeah.
but we just haven't found that
You
gold
would
one.
you would think they would be more common than that. They're small, they're easy to lose, or I would think they are.
Yeah,
Um, I see a question. Kindle version. There is not a Kindle version anymore. The reason being that at one time they decided they didn't want our magazine anymore. At first, it was on Kindle, and then they said that at that time I think that I don't remember the reason, but we're not on Kindle. It's just PDF now, unfortunately.
yeah.
Well, that's Kindle's loss, isn't it?
Right. That's kind of the way I looked at it. It was, I think, now let me think, is Amazon and Kindle the same? Amazon is the ones that quit letting us sell the magazine on their digital versions. So
I
I'm
think
not
that's
sure.
true. Yeah,
I
I
think it
think that's
is.
right.
Yeah. I think it's all connected. I mean, I don't understand that, but yeah, it's kind of their loss on that. My loss too, but still, it's a loss.
Yeah, yeah.
You
It's
know,
sometimes these places get too big for their britches. Don't know what's good for them.
Well, at the time they said that our magazine didn't have a large scale enough appeal. But I beg to disagree with them. But what do I know? I just know we
Well,
send them all over the world.
you tell them to call me. I'll tell
That's right. That's really how we got worldwide because postage is very expensive if you send a magazine overseas, and we do have some postal subscribers overseas who actually pay more for their postage, I think, than they do the magazine. But mostly overseas, it's digital. That's the most
them. Yeah.
popular.
yeah, I could see
Well,
that.
in
Yeah.
this day and age, especially with the young people,
Oh yeah.
old buzzards like me would have to have the print. But anymore,
Mhm.
with my eyesight so bad, I prefer the digital. But the young people like digital. I mean,
They
they
do.
live on their phone, so they get it
Mhm.
on their phone. How they see it, I have no clue. But
I don't understand that either, but I prefer a print version. But our goal is to try to give it to whoever wants it, and I want to see more of the young age group get into this hobby, and that's the way most of them go is the digital.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I think it is. What are you seeing, Phil, as far as customer base? Are you seeing some younger people come in?
I'm seeing some younger folks get into it, and that's always nice. And I always get the people who come in who are just recently retired,
Hmm.
and they tell me I hear the story so many times. They say my dad had a detector, and we had so much fun with it. I want to get a detector. So um, it's just the young people. Yeah, they're getting into the hobby too.
I'm
it's just a
glad.
cool
Yeah,
thing.
I'm
And you
glad.
see it. You see it online. You see it on YouTube. Kids doing it. They're having a good time with it. To me, it's the coolest hobby ever. Where could you go and dig and find something that's a piece of history?
I can't understand the people that have gone out 1 or 2 times and just put their metal detectors up. I mean, I guess if you've got a metal detector that's so off brand, it won't find anything. But from the first old thing I saw dug up, I was just hooked on it.
Yeah, I was hooked. The first dime, the first
Hmm.
penny, the first quarter. I was that. That was it. was game on for me. I was thinking, man, I'm gonna
I
get rich.
know. I mean, you're holding something that somebody hasn't held in years, and you're digging treasure. I see a question up there. I like the way you guys have got that. Musini, and thank you for tuning in tonight. But have you ever thought of doing reviews on metal detectors? Yes, we have, and we have done something, or have done some in the past. Now, the reason you don't see more reviews on metal detectors in the magazine, though, is because, okay, you get a metal detector straight out of the box, you're not going to be able to use it very well. It's there's a learning curve with every detector you get or get a hold of. And what we have done in the past is we do a first impression review of a metal detector. In other words, a guy's just bought the metal detector, he's opened up the box, he gets out in the field. Okay, what do I do? That's the way we do detectors. And we haven't done one in a while, but that, if we've had manufacturers want to do their own reviews, well, they're going to say all good things about the detector.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other reason to. And so we won't let manufacturers do reviews, or we won't let people connected with the manufacturers do reviews because it's too biased.
Right.
So the few that we have done are basically, okay, we've got this detector, let's take it out and play with it and see what it does. And
one thing, what's our credo, Phil, at Treasure Talk?
Oh, read the manual.
That's it.
read the manual and repeat.
Hey, I wanted to comment first. It's not Moose Mini. It's Moose in New York.
Oh, I'm sorry, Moose. Sorry, Moose in New York. Oh, I just lost a reader. I'm sorry.
We got corrected. We were always thinking it was Moose Mini.
Well, I don't really see the best right now anyway, so you're lucky I even got the M right. So.
Yeah, I can't see the screen at all because
we had it wrong for about a year.
Yeah, but
congratulations, you are one of the many people who I've mispronounced their names in the last years.
Yeah, and I know Moose in New York because he's bought some detectors and stuff from me. So
there you go, Phil.
Moose and Ninny. Where did I get that?
We all have said it. Jeff said it. I've said it.
Well, when you look at it, that's what I thought. Well, heck, that fire, that's Moose and Ninny.
That's right.
I mean, he's very gracious about it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Moose, for being so understanding and overlooking my ignorance.
We butchered it for a year.
We did. We certainly did. So
what's even worse are the people that are too nice to correct you.
Yeah.
I hate that because once a name's ingrained, I'll call them that name from then on, probably.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, goodness. So Butch, one of your competitors has gone out of business.
Yes, and I hate it. There's the magazine industry as far as metal detecting. It's not a huge field. It never has been a huge field. So we actually know a lot of the publishers, and we were friend with them. With Rosemary and her father ran the magazine. For some reason, I can't think of his name right now. But we swapped ads with them. At one time, we even talked about possibly taking over the magazine and buying it, but we didn't. But it was Western Eastern Treasures, who I remember reading that when I first got into metal detecting. I mean, it was great. And they finally went to all digital a few years ago, and that really hurt them, I believe. So then they finally, I think it was last week, announced that they're ceasing publication completely.
Yeah.
So we're kind of it now as far as in the U.S.
So have you got a lot of your orders now? People jumping over to your magazine?
Oh yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. The past week since that was announced, we've gotten I don't know how many new subscriptions, and also a lot of people requesting issues just to look at.
Yeah.
So we've been trying to keep up with that.
Yeah, because I can see where if you were just PDF or digital, I can see where some old timers, myself included, I like a printed copy. I want to read a printed book. I don't want to read. I'll read stuff on Facebook on a computer or a phone, but I want a printed book, a printed magazine,
right?
So I can hold it in my hand. It's a different feeling.
That's what I like. I mean, it's easier sometimes to look up something on a PDF or carry it around with you or something. But overall, I like print. And,
Yeah, for
I like
sure.
to actually hold it in my hand. Plus, not to get too delicate, but, if you drop your magazine when you're reading it in the bathroom, it's going to get wet. If you drop your cell phone, you're screwed.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, for
That's
sure.
right. Now, Rick Tumbleson he says, I'm an old guy. I just don't do digital anything if I
Right.
can avoid it at all. Trust me, Rick, you don't even know, son. You don't know what
We
old is, buddy. I
we
got
do a
clothing
survey.
as old as you are.
We do a survey in our magazine, and it's just funny that you get the age demographic of, say, over 50 years old. Less and less they do digital until you get up to someone, let's say 60, 70 years old. Some of those don't even have emails. I'm kid you not. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
and
They said,
that's
what's
what
digital?
and for a while, the detector manufacturers, we were having trouble. We lost some as advertisers, and we were having trouble getting them back because they were convinced the only way to sell metal detectors was digitally on the internet. And we finally convinced them, and they've come back to us now, that there's a lot of detectors that, believe it or not, are not on the internet, or at least not real active on it.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
they're the ones that got the money, can afford
yeah,
it.
that's right. That's exactly right.
That's
For
right.
sure. Well, I had one question from the Facebook page, and I
Mhm.
did make that so you could share it, Butch. I figured out how to do that on
Oh,
Facebook.
okay, good, good.
Yeah, that little ad. But the one question I did have from, and I ended up posting at different places, so it's kind
Mhm.
of hard for me to figure out where the question came from. But the person was asking, what was your favorite find that you printed in your magazine?
Oh, okay. The favorite find of my person, you mean my personal find?
Yes, that
That
you found. That
that
you
would be the Georgia State Seal Civil War era button that I looked for almost 50 years. I never could find one. It was actually the contest in the magazine of find the Georgia button hid in the magazine. And finally, about, I guess, 5 or 6 years ago, on I was within a quarter mile of my house and I found one. And so that's when the contest changed and ended. And that's my favorite find is the Georgia button. And that's actually the only thing I've ever actually had on the cover of my own magazine.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's pretty bad when all your readers' finds are better than yours, especially with as
Well,
many
the thing of
readers
it
as
is,
we have.
Butch, they get to go out and hunt, and we don't.
Yeah, tell me about it. I was telling you guys before the show, one of the most torturous things that you can imagine is to sit there on a sunny, nice detecting day, looking at other people's finds, putting them in a magazine while they're out actually finding stuff, and you can't.
Oh, I know.
So,
And Phil and I talk about it because when I head to the beach, it's usually
mhm.
when Phil can be over at the beach, and we want to go hunt, but we're so dang tired we kind of like sit and
That's
rest,
right.
Yes. I end
and
up
we
sleeping
just
till
don't get
1
that,
in the
don't get
afternoon.
the time to hunt.
Yeah. I'll end up sleeping till 1 in the afternoon. I wanted to go on Sunday, but I was so tired from working Saturday because it was a real negative tide at like 8 or 9 in the morning,
Oh,
and I just couldn't get up and do it. So it
well,
happened.
people that have ever hunted with me will attest to the fact that I am notorious for just laying down wherever I'm at and taking a nap. And that's better on the beach, but when it's out in the woods, one of my experiences was I laid down on, I don't know if it's a nest of chiggers or ants or what, and fell asleep. And
Oh,
I itched for a week. I still don't know what it was, but I had a good nap.
For a while anyway.
Yeah, for a while, yeah.
so Butch, which detector are you using now? What's your
Well,
favorite one?
my favorite one is my go-to detector is my Deus 2. I still love that Deus. It took me forever to start hunting with the Deus, but once I did, I really fell in love with it. Now I tried to promote equally and hunt equally with all the detectors that are involved with our magazine. I've got a Fisher, I've got a Mind Lab, Knox, I've got a Notka, couple of others. I'm trying to think. Fisher F75, which is an old detector, but I love it in certain situations. And I've also got a GPX like what you got behind you there, Phil. I've got one of the lesser ones, the MindLab GPX. But I want to tell anybody, if you want, not only for gold prospecting, but if you want absolute depth, that machine is incredible. I mean, it will read it will read a Toyota in Japan. Let me put it that way.
Well, that's good because I saw a meme on Instagram, I think it was. And this is funny when you bring up the Deus 2. It was, and for a lot of you people out there that are young, you will not know what I'm talking about. But just bear with me. It was the old Star Trek when you had Spock and Kirk. And Kirk is asking Spock or something about that. He says, well, they don't have, it's a primitive civilization. They have not invented tricorders yet. But curiously, they're all using something called the Deus 2. So there you go. I know you
I love
did,
it.
but
I love it. If you ever want to see something cool, fold up your Deus 2 and look at it from the side. I swear it looks like the Enterprise.
it does. It
Yes,
does.
it does.
Yeah,
It does. As a matter of fact, my wife said that.
It's an
I had it all
amazing
broke down,
detector.
ready to put in the car. So we put the Enterprise in there. I said, that's it.
Well, you know, the main thing is with all detectors, I tell people, they'll get a name brand of some kind. Get a Garrett or a MindLab or a Fisher or a Noka or something that someone like Phil would recommend. That's why you buy it from people that you know and follow, like Phil. So,
That's right. Speaking
absolutely.
of that,
yeah,
it's time for a word from our sponsor. So
I did that pretty well, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Thank you,
We'll
Butch.
be right back.
Phil Myers here from Myers Metal Detectors. I'm at the front of my counter in my shop, and I want to show you the best metal detecting magazine available today. It's available in print and PDF format for digital users. I personally like the printed page. I've had this one in my shop for ages. It is the best reference guide and magazine you could use, especially if you're new to relic and metal detecting, treasure hunting. It covers everything, and the pictures are the best. It's printed on a nice glossy stock, and you get all kinds of reference materials in each edition. So I would suggest you get a subscription or come in the shop and pick one up at Myers Metal Detectors for sure. We always have this in stock. It's put out every 2 months, and Butch does an awesome job publishing this. So if you're new, especially if you're new to metal detecting, you want to have this. If you've been doing this a long time, you should get it too. Myers Metal Detectors, dig deeper, and happy hunting.
Okay.
All right.
Boy, that guy talks a lot.
Yeah, he's smooth. He's smooth.
That guy's like a professional.
He's done that before, I bet.
Yeah, that's not his first goat roping.
No, it's not. He's broke more GoPros than people can think of.
Yeah, that's not a GoPro. That's a Logi camera hooked in my little
No,
laptop.
I said goat roping.
Oh, goat roping.
Goat roping. I'm sorry. It's just, that ain't your first rodeo.
There you go. Yeah, my hearing's bad too. Not only can I not see, but I can't hear either. So Butch, did I hear you play music?
What's that?
You're a musician?
Semi-musician. Yeah, I love to play. Never got anywhere really other than, like playing local clubs and things like that. Something I've got in the works though that I'm hoping I'm getting back into music. And I have a CD that I'm working on that's going to be all metal detecting music, songs I wrote concerning metal detecting. Whit Hill, if anyone's ever heard of her, she had a CD out about metal detecting, and I'm good friends with Whit. And actually, she featured one of the songs I wrote on there, and it's called Aluminum Foiled Again. And if you look up Whit Hill, I've forgotten the name of the album, but it's got her sitting there with a metal detector on the cover of the album. So how could you not buy that? But eventually I am working on it. I don't know when it'll be finished because I have so many irons in the fire on so many different things that, they all get finished, but who knows when.
Well, Jeff, I see you got a comment there, but I can't read that, buddy.
Okay, well, it says from my gold finder, it says, and the American Digger magazine makes a great gift
Yes, it
to
does.
give someone, and that is
Yes,
a
it does.
very true statement.
Yes. It'll get them started going in the hobby because, somebody new to the hobby, you talk about people buying a detector and then putting it up. They just haven't gone out with somebody and found some stuff. You don't have to be super successful, but you do have to find a little bit when you get started.
Well, and the thing is, if you go out with it, you will find something.
Yes.
I mean, and the thing, you've got to always keep the excitement factor early on, and the magazine gives you that excitement factor. We have close to 12 pages of things that people have dug within the previous year, just dug feature.
Yeah, just
And yeah, how can you look at that and not want to go metal detecting? I just
Yeah.
can't understand.
That's exactly what it does for sure.
Dirty Paws Detecting, your daughter bought you a subscription last year. You have a good daughter, let me tell you.
Indeed, indeed. I tell you what, he's one of the luckiest guys I know. He's got a great wife and he's got a great daughter. Plus, he's got a subscription to American Digger. Hey.
Yeah,
I got
for
underwear
sure.
and socks.
I missed
get
out
socks
this year.
every year. For sure. But I like getting those socks because them old holy ones get old after a while.
That's right. It's funny how the older we get, the more we appreciate those gifts we didn't like as kids.
Yeah. But I did get a Christmas gift.
What you got? Oh, look at that. That is awesome. Christmas ornament.
Phil got one too.
Yeah.
My word, look at that.
And this is from one of our very best fans, JBP Hobbyist. She made one for Phil. She made one for me. And it's a Christmas tree ornament. And she is an avid reader and lover of American Digger magazine.
Oh my gosh, I tell you what, send us one. We might get it in the magazine. Who knows? It'll be on my tree for sure.
Oh, yes. Heck yeah. Well, JBP, you heard it here.
I would be honored. I would just be thrilled to have something like that.
Hey, I did want to comment. Jocelyn said someone had asked if I still had any Equinox 900s in stock that I mentioned on the show and with Jeff on Saturday. And yes, I still have 3 left. So if you're wanting one of those, we do have them. No Manticore.
No news on when anything else is coming in yet.
No news on the Manticore. And have you seen anybody hunting with a Manticore, Butch?
No, I have not. And I haven't heard that much about it. I understand they're out, but I guess everybody's maybe going through that learning curve to get it going. I don't know. I hadn't heard a lot, though.
Yeah, I've seen some videos, and the customers of mine who've gotten them, because I have had a few get those. They love them, but they love the 900 and the Equinox 800 and 600, the Legends. They love them all. So if they learn how to use them, they'll love them for sure.
That's the thing. The most important thing is, and I'm not trying to knock anybody out of sales, but get a detector and learn that detector before you move on to something else. Unless you just can't stand it, the main thing to making a detector work well is you knowing how to use it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you don't know how to use it, it doesn't matter which one you have. It's not going to work well.
Yes. And that's why Jeff and I always say, read the manual too. And then, if you buy it from a dealer like myself, at least we can get you going. Or my buddy Joe, when he's in there, he gets the people going so they know how to use it when they walk out the door. So, Jeff, what are we working on, buddy? I see you over there typing.
Well, I'm sending a JBP. She needs Butch's address to send.
I just saw that.
That's funny. All righty, and it looks like are we getting ready to do something else?
We are certainly. We are indeed, because we have a great gift for tonight's giveaway from American Digger magazine, and this is for one lucky person. That if you already are a subscriber, you can get a renewal, or if you're not a subscriber, you can take your pick between print and digital. 1-year subscription to American Digger magazine provided by Butch and Anita at American Digger magazine. Now, as always, you have to be a member of Treasure Talk YouTube, I checked when I drew the names. You had to enter a phrase on the entry video, which is American Digger is the best of the best, and that goes without saying. And I drew the names. Now you will have, once I call your name, you will have 3 minutes. And somebody is texting me. Let's see.
They didn't win.
No, they didn't. No, I don't. It's they always do that. Once your name is called, and only when your name is called, text me at my number on the screen. You'll have 3 minutes with your name and that you are here. Then I will put up the email address once we have a winner, and you must send an email with your name, address, and phone number to the email address, treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. And I'll get that to Butch and we'll get you all set up. So get ready, people. Get your fingers ready because at about 7:45, we're going to draw another name if y'all ain't watching. So Digging Canuck Treasure Hunter. If you are in the house watching,
Hey,
you
Digging
will want
Canuck.
a year subscription.
Digging Canuck is a winner for sure.
Yeah, all right.
Heck of a
We'll
detective.
see if she's
Great
here.
gal.
Okay, so let's keep going with Butch then, Jeff, while we're waiting for Digging
You
Canuck.
bet.
Let's talk about the new book.
I was just sitting here fixing to say, let's talk about the new book.
There we go.
The first thing I want to say is, yes, we have them for sale, but Phil is going to have these in stock in his store very soon. So we really hope you go to Phil and buy these, but if not, you can buy directly from us. But
Absolutely.
what can I say about this book? Wow. This is actually a follow-up to a book done by Charles Harris, who was with the magazine. And Charles, or Charlie as I know him, I'm talking about thousands of pictures during his career with American Digger magazine. Most of them didn't get in the magazine. But he had a book about 20 years ago, I think, called Civil War Relics of the Western Campaigns. And that book sold out of 3 different printings. So there's at least 3,000 to 4,000 of those books out there. They're still in demand. This is a follow-up to that. This is Civil War Relics of the Western Campaigns and Beyond. And this is, unlike American Digger magazine, this is strictly Civil War. But it includes all of the southeastern states, including Florida, guys. There's actually some Florida relics in here. They're all identified by where they're from. I don't know if y'all can see this or not, but it's hard for me to do it. But it's they're identified where they were found at. It's a great book for finding out what something is that you found. And as you can see, it's also got maps. It's full color. By the way, there's a cool item. That's a carved squirrel out of a bullet. So yeah. The book is let me see how many pages. About I can't hardly read it. I think it's 240 pages. Yeah, and I wrote the thing. You would think I would know that. But it's 240 pages. Charlie supplied all the pictures, and I supplied all the text and a lot of the research on it. Now, here's the kicker about this book. Charlie passed away the week that the book was put on sale. So he barely got to see them. And there is a limited number out there that are signed by him and myself. He signed them before he passed away. I think all those have been sold out now, but if you have one of those books and it's signed by both of us, you probably got a gold mine down the road because people are asking for them left and right. We've still got them in stock, but like I say, Phil will be stocking them. So, buy them from Phil if you can. If not, and what is the book called again?
There you go.
JPB Hobbyist. Yes, it's Civil War Relics of the Western Campaigns and Beyond, 1861 to 1865, by Charles Harris and Butch Holcomb. It's not on Amazon yet because they're selling so fast. I don't even know if we're going to need Amazon, but We're
Yeah,
almost completely out of the first 1,000 that were run, first edition.
yeah, I think you'll get enough business from without going
Yeah.
to Amazon on
Yeah.
that one because there's so many people who want that.
Oh, it
And-
has been crazy. Anita's shipping out 10 to 15 a day generally.
Yeah, and I told her to send me a dozen to get started.
Yeah.
So, and I'll probably take them to my metal detecting club meeting because there are a lot of dig. Oh, I see you got your dog
That's
there.
one of my mascots. Yeah, that's one of my mascots. We are a dog-friendly environment here at American Digger.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Dogs are cool for sure. But yeah, I can't wait to get that in the shop. That's one I want personally. I
It's
want for myself.
and
Now,
I tell you what, you guys are going to love it too because you'll end up keeping a copy for yourself. I know
oh,
you
I know
will.
that.
It's an amazing book, and I'm not patting myself on the back because it was a group effort between Charlie and myself, but I look at it now and go, wow, that's really a cool book.
Yeah, and it's a reference guide.
That's what it's made for. Yeah, it's we've already had people contact us saying that on page such and such there's a so and so. I dug one of these and had no idea what it was till I looked in the book.
Yeah, that's the cool part about
That's
this.
the beauty of these books. Yeah.
Sure. Oh, I want to ask you, Butch, about other books that are out of print, like Albert.
Wait, I'm getting a lot of echo, Phil. What was that again?
I don't know where the echo's coming from.
I'm not hearing it, so
I'm not either.
Is it just me? Oh,
Maybe,
okay.
maybe it's your dog.
I'm wondering that. It went away and the dog's gone, so maybe so. Maybe who knows?
Echoing. No, I was asking about books like Albert's Button Book.
Oh boy, that's out of print now, folks. And what was once a extremely common book has now become almost impossible to find.
Yeah,
And yeah, Albert's I don't know what they're going for now, but there's some kind of snafu in getting them reprinted. So they're probably not going to be reprinted in the foreseeable future, but there's 3 books you need to identify buttons. There's Albert's. There's also Tice's button book, which is already a $200 book and up. And then there's also one that's still in print. I was looking on my shelf to see if I have it. Yeah. It's we actually still carry this one, American Digger. But this is American Military Button Makers and Dealers, their back marks and dates. That sounds like a really dull book. There's very few pictures in it, but by looking at the back of a button and seeing what the manufacturer is, you can date that button. So if you've got those 3 buttons or 3 books, then you're going to have your bases covered as far as identifying most American buttons, U.S. buttons.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2 of them are out of print, and the other one doesn't have pictures of the buttons in it. So.
Well, I can't wait to get your new book in the shop here for sure.
I can't hardly hear. I don't know what's going on.
Uh-oh. I hope it's not me. Can you hear okay, Jeff?
yeah, I can hear you.
I'm just getting garble coming in the background. I don't know. Maybe I ought to move out from under the power lines.
Well, I don't know. It could be my internet. My internet does suck.
Well, you're getting new internet soon, though, right, Jeff?
I hope so. Any day. I hope.
Hey, in my part of Georgia, we're still getting used to this electricity thing, so bear with me.
I hear you. I hear you.
So,
We
Jeff,
had
did we get a winner?
comment from our winner.
Oh, we did get a winner.
Yeah, we did. She said the book is a very, very few pictures. It's a keeper book.
I guess she's talking about the
back mark book.
The back mark book. Yeah, it's really, you can, even if you don't know what the face of a button is, you can look on the back and see the manufacturer and look in that book, and you'll be able to tell when it was made. So that's pretty darn important to get started on buttons.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeedy.
So speaking of buttons, what
Mm.
is your favorite button besides the Georgia one?
Besides the Georgia one, okay. In my quest of looking for the Georgia button, I went to a lot of different places, and I actually found two, actually three very rare buttons. One of them was Irish Jasper Greens. I had to think of what the name was. That was a elite militia group in Savannah, Georgia. They were very rich. They had their own buttons made, and there's probably less than 1,000 that have ever been made. So very rare button. Then I also found two Georgia Military Institute buttons at different times. And that was kind of the joke that they look like a Georgia button, but they're not the kind I was after. But that campus was actually within half a mile of where I grew up. So it was very personal to me when I found those Military Institute buttons. And that Military Institute, the Georgia Military Institute, GMI is the name of it, that was only in business from 1840 to I think the outbreak of the Civil War.
Mm.
And it was a military school. It was teenagers basically all the way down to probably 12-year-olds. But
Hey, now you mentioned that Charles had passed away in the magazine. So who's going to take over his Q&A?
well, we're looking into that now. We've got several people that are seeing what they can do with it. What we're probably going to do this time, instead of throwing it all on one person, is we're going to, even though I don't like the name experts, we're basically going to ask the experts what these are. Let's say I might ask you, Phil, what this coin is, or I might ask John Brown what this buckle is, or what this piece is, and then we're going to go about it that way, because Charles had, he used a lot of people to put that column together, but he had a vast knowledge of this stuff. In
Yeah.
fact, he wasn't super elderly when he passed away. I think he was 81, 82. But I used to kid him, well, you're so good at this because you remember when they used it. So he was a great guy, though. I miss him. Magazine will miss him.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, his column was a good one. I just love that.
And one thing about the magazine, it's taught me a lot. Now, I knew a fairly good amount of stuff, especially about Civil War artifacts, when we started the magazine. But since that time, I can't just put something in the magazine and not know about it. I have to actually, make sure the piece is right. Okay, what is this piece? What is that? And it's been a great learning process for me. I'm not going to, I want to say grammar time, but I'm not, after Moose, I'm not going to pronounce any names.
Now that's true. That's grammar time. That's
hey, I got one right. What do I
Danny
win?
Graham, grammar time.
Grammar time.
How are my eyeballs? Well, I'm still keeping an eye out for trouble on my right eyeball. But for those that don't know, I kind of went pirate this year. I had to wear a patch over my right eye. I completely lost vision in it. The vision is starting to come back, but it's not without up and downs. And I had another down episode within the past 2 weeks where I lost vision again, but it's coming back. So at least I have one good eye. But if you see me detect, you'll notice I'll always bear over to the left with my good eye, and I'll eventually go in circles. So if you see me going in circles, just straighten me out so I'll find my way home.
Well, we just need to advise Anita to hit you on the other side of the head.
That will do it.
And
That's
it'll
right.
straighten right up.
As my grandmama used to say, she needs to slap me silly.
Well, my grandma used to tell me if I didn't straighten up, she's going to snatch me bald headed.
That too. And look, it works.
Boy, I got hair.
I obviously wasn't.
Yeah, I remember. I think the last time you were on here with Jeff and I, you had the pirate patch on.
I think I did, and but it's one of those things. People are like, how awful? No, that's not that awful. I've got one good eye left. I can see a little bit out of the other eye, and I look out there at the people that have a complete eye missing, or worse, or even blind, and I consider myself very lucky that I had a spare eyeball.
Yeah, for me, it's a good thing I'm a tone hunter because I'm right-handed, and with the Deus 2, the screen's a little small. My right eye, I can't see nothing out of. So, it's a good thing I hunt by tone,
You know
not so
what
much
I
for
love the
being guy.
most? What I love the most on that Deus too, there's a setting to make the numbers big.
Yep,
I
I use
live
that.
by that. Yeah, because before that I was squinting at the screen all the time.
I was too. I
Yeah,
was too.
I like the larger numbers too.
Yeah.
That makes your job so much
Oh
easier.
yeah, it does.
Hey, I'm looking in your magazine here, and I'm looking at a slave tag. Have you ever found a slave tag?
No, I have not. I've never even been with anybody that's found one. And by the way, if you're going to find a slave tag, the only place that they were made is in Charleston, South Carolina. And you'll see them on eBay from wherever, Atlanta, Tennessee. Those are all fakes. The only ones that were really made are out of South Carolina, and that's where they're found too, is the Charleston area of South Carolina.
Right.
And now I tell you something I did see last year or the year before. I was actually hunting with a fella, and he found a free slave badge. That's not a slave tag. A slave tag was basically if I had a slave and I wanted to farm them out to you to do some work for you. That was proof that they actually were allowed to be off the plantation. Plus, the city of Charleston received money for that. So it was really a tax. I had to pay the city of Charleston for a tag so I could let my slave work off the plantation. And they're very historical, but the free slave badges or tags, as some people call them, that is even more rare. That is a black that had their freedom either through purchasing freedom or they'd been granted by one of the plantation owners. And that was really their only proof to keep from going back into slavery. So whoever lost that, they could have very well lost their freedom.
Hmm. So the only place to find a slave
Mhm.
tag would be in South Carolina. In
Right. In the
Charleston.
low country of South Carolina, I have heard of one or two that were found on the Georgia coast. However, they were still issued by Charleston, South Carolina, or Charleston Neck. Charleston Neck is actually like a suburb of Charleston, so it's the same thing. But it was a way for the city to make money off that, is all it was.
Yeah, way for tax money for
Yeah.
sure.
And one cool thing, I don't think she does it anymore, but that's it's a dark part of history, but it's a very important part of black history. And Oprah Winfrey used to be a big collector of those. We would see her at the shows looking for slave tags. So it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me,
It's part of your history, and you shouldn't bury it.
no, we want to see it so that we
Mhm.
don't do the same stupid things again.
Amen. Amen.
Same
Yeah.
mistakes.
Yes.
So I think it's important. That would be neat to see her at a show.
Oh, it was really neat. I never actually saw her. I saw her buyers.
Oh,
And I
okay.
found out from them who they were working with, but she would send these two black gentlemen to the shows. They would generally have a briefcase and be well dressed, and they would have specific people they would go to meet up with and look at what they had for sale. So that was but you do see celebrities at the show, though. You see Hank Williams Jr. comes to a lot of the shows. He's a big Civil War collector. Who else? I can't think. There's some country music stars that come to them. And there have been a lot of celebrities in metal detecting, and we've tried to do some interviews with some of them. Sterling Marlin, the race car driver we interviewed. But the one guy we wanted to interview, and he died before we could do it, but that was Bob Denver, Gilgan. Gilgan was a metal detectorist. And so it's kind of cool when people that you consider big shots and stars and all come down to earth and get dirty with the rest of us.
Yes.
Well, you never know. You might see the Robertsons from Duck Dynasty over there.
That's right. Yes.
Well, Jeff, that hour looks like it went by pretty darn quick, didn't it?
It flew.
Time's fun
Got to get ready
when
for
you're
his
having
big
fun.
show.
Yeah,
So,
Butch has got to
tell 'em
go over
what's
to
coming
Relic.
up.
Yeah,
Next Butch.
we've got a great show coming up. We've got let me see so I won't get the name wrong here. I think it's Treasure Expeditions, the reality show.
Oh, okay,
I
cool.
believe I'm looking for it right now. Forgive me if they're listening in. I should know, but I didn't set the show up tonight. Anyway, it's American Diggers Relic Roundup, Uncharted Expedition. The guys from Uncharted Expeditions are going to be on tonight, and we're on Spreaker. It's American Diggers Relic Roundup on Spreaker, and I'll post a link here. We'll be coming up on them at 9 o'clock tonight, Eastern Standard Time.
Awesome.
So then you can listen to me and not have to look at this face.
Oh, you're too funny, Butch.
You know what you need to get, Butch, is you need to get some Butch Holcomb bobbleheads.
That would be
That's
funny.
a scary thought, man. That's
There
a
you go.
scary thought. That's worse than somebody said why couldn't I come to one of their events? And I said, well, I've got other plans. They said, can you send a cardboard cutout? No, I don't have any of those either.
All right. Well, Butch, I want to thank you for coming on here.
Guys, thank you. It's been a blast.
And thank you, Josh, for helping me out with
Thank you,
questions.
Jocelyn.
Yeah. And thank you, Jeff, for pulling it all together.
You are quite welcome, Butch. We can't thank you enough.
Awesome show.
Everybody's hair lights on fire when they know you're coming on the show.
Yeah, because
it
is an awesome magazine.
That's better. That's better than everybody running like their hair's on fire when they hear I'm coming on.
That's right. And we want to thank you for the wonderful giveaway you gave tonight.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for doing what you do for the hobby, because doggone it, do something. Everybody listening, do something good for the hobby. Don't do anything negative. Make us look good, not bad.
Absolutely.
That is right. That is right. So we will see you again soon, Butch. I'll see you at Dig Stop. And with the lovely Anita, and we'll have a chat and have a good time. So
sounds great.
Thank you. Give Jocelyn a hug for me. Keep her warm.
Absolutely.
And we will see everybody later. And thank you for watching. Happy hunting, everybody. And dig deeper.
Dig deeper, my friends. We'll see you.